I still can't believe there's no break this week, man. Like, what? After a chapter of this magnitude, which I can't stop thinking about, I can't stop discussing. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. It's rent-free at all times, even more so than a normal One Piece chapter. What we got last week was one of the greatest weekly chapter reading experiences I have ever had, man. And to now follow that up with even more peak, with even more greatness. Like the fact that 1045 is going to have a lead cover and a color spread means that this is about to be a banger. And we are here today to talk about the potential possibilities of what could take place in chapter 1045. Like I said, coming off of the coattails of one of the greatest weekly chapter reading experiences ever, which that was coming off of another one of the greatest weekly chapter reading experiences ever in 1043. So we're continuing this stretch of non-stop greatness. And I expect it to continue on full 100%. We're in 10th gear going up in like slow-mo, right? I mean, no one's stopping this train. This one's gonna keep going. The individuals on the moon, the individuals around the world, everyone is gonna know what's happening on this roof. When final form, Gear 5th, Luffy tunes, my man Bugs Luffy, whatever happens there with the go with the code, Gear 5th, top 1 legendary, right? When you have the legend going up against another legend, the world's strongest creature, land, sea, or air. They said to bet on Kaido, but that was before Luffy got his tunes. You know what I'm saying? Now it's, if it's 1v1, you bet on the go with the coat. You feel me? Especially when the hair is shining gold, and I love that design so much, yo. But then now you have Kaido. And here's the thing. This upcoming chapter, I'm expecting nothing but hands. This is gonna be Roof Piece at its very best. You feel me? We're going to have the greatest of clashes. We're going to have so many awesome abilities. Just being able to see Gear 5th and more actions, being able to see more of it by itself is going to make it a 500 out of 10 chapter. You know what I'm saying? Because transformations in and of themselves are really, really special. But when you have an awesome move set or brand new moves to accompany that, and they're extremely hype, they're awesome, like just can't wait to find out more about this ability, that's whenever they really, really shine. And that's what this upcoming chapter is going to be. It's Luffy and Kaido flexing what I believe is going to be both of their final forms up until this point. And in Luffy's case, it might honestly be his final form. You know what I'm saying? Like he said it himself, this is my peak. This is my pinnacle. This is Gear 5th, but because of the way that Gear 5th is structured based on one's imagination, this might not be the final way that it looks and the final way that it moves based on the fact that Luffy's going to have more time in the rest of the series to work on this ability, to enhance it, to have his imagination continue to grow even further beyond, you know what I'm saying? But in regards to Kaido, I do believe that within this next chapter, we're going to see this man go into his final state. We initially thought that full drive homicidal phase that we got there at the very end, where it looked like he was going all out, was Kaido's final form until I saw G5. And I think after we all saw Gear 5th, we were like, hold on, man. Is it time for final form Kaido? I don't know what that is. I don't know what phase is that going to be called. I don't know if it's going to be that phase that we got at the very end of 1042, or if it's going to be something brand new. Whatever it is, Kaido's entering that right off the bat, and it's going to be filthy because when you look back at their battle up until this point, 1037 and 1042 had some of the best fighting choreography in this series. The headbutts, hands, I mean, Future Sight, it was goated, man. I just love the way those panels flowed. It was awesome. And now what we're going to have is Luffy on a complete high, ready to go up in Lex Swimmer, a grateful Kaido who's just happy this dude is alive and now he's better than he's ever been. So now he knows if he believed that Luffy could potentially handle the attack that he was going to give him originally, which was that Supreme Dragon King Overlord Thunder Bagua that he was going to hit him with, which was going to, I mean, he hit him with it and he killed him, you know what I'm saying? Or at least he came close to killing him, or if not, he killed him 100%, right? Like, that's how devastating that attack was. And so Kaido thought he could handle that. He went up and like someone was like, all right, let's go. We're flexing. I'm excited. This is my strongest. So now we're gonna have is a Kaido who knows Luffy can handle his very, very strongest attacks. So now we're gonna have a Kaido who's not holding back in the slightest. Now we're gonna have a Kaido who's going 110% because he knows the other individual can handle it. And he's gonna have the most fun he's ever had. So we're gonna have two characters. One in Kaido who potentially has not used any of these moves or this moveset in years. Kaido's probably gonna pull stuff out of his bag that he hasn't used since he first embarked on this journey. We're gonna see Kaido's complete bag. And then in Luffy's case, who's trying out these new abilities, because we know that Luffy's imagination works so insane that he's gonna be inspired by the things that he sees. Imagine Luffy starts using toon versions of Kaido's attacks! Like, yo, that's gonna be so sick! So, just for that aspect alone, I am so excited. And I think by the end of this, it's pretty obvious, right, that Luffy vs. Kaido is probably gonna end up being, if not the best, but one of the greatest fights, not just in One Piece, but I would say in the history of the Shonen Jump magazine, which has had some legendary fights. And Luffy vs. Kaido just gives off that vibe, especially after last chapter, where last chapter is such a legendary chapter like that. To continue on that, where now we're gonna reach the climax of this battle, it's like, yo, this is gonna go down in legend. And this upcoming chapter is just gonna further solidify that that opinion, that thought process of like, yo, this is going to be a goated battle, man. And the thing is, now when we have Kaido going in the like swimwear, he's gonna have no remorse. Like, it's go time. It is go time. And with that being said, I do wonder how Oda's gonna handle this. Is this going to be a full-on Luffy versus Kaido chapter, or are we going to transition to something else? I think if we transition to something else, it's going to be one of two things. I think we'll transition to either A, whatever these preparations are, the scabbards are building up, maybe potentially financing Denjiro if we do continue on maybe the Hiyori plotline and whatnot, whatever there. We might see a little bit of that. Or B, if we see some of the Straw Hats, and for example, if we were to continue Zoro's little death side plot that's going on right now, that's very, very interesting. If we were to follow that, then we could have a better insight into the way that Oda wants to handle the rest of this fight. Because the fight being a 1v1 from here on out, 1v1 bet on Luffy or Kaido, that's definitely an awesome possibility, and one that I'm absolutely down for and I can't wait for. But there's also the final boss battle that is also up in the air as well, because we have no idea whether the Straw Hats will accompany Luffy on the roof, especially if individuals. Sanji's woken up. If Zoro wakes up next chapter, it is not out the realm of possibility that all of the Straw Hats join Luffy on the roof to take out Kaido together. That is not out of this world. And so I think we'll get better insight into the way that Oda wants to handle all that based on how next chapter goes. If in next chapter we see the continuation of the Zoro thing, we see the Straw Hats start moving, like we're gonna go back up our goat with the coat, then that's how you know that's where that's headed. But if we don't get any of that, and it's straight up just Luffy and Kaido throwing down, then if it's 1v1, you better place your bets now. Who are you betting on? Landseer Air or the GOAT of the Toon world? The GOAT of the Toons! Who are you betting on? Who are you betting on? And it's exciting stuff, man. You know, being able to live through something like this, Murphy brought up like in just the best type of way in her review, that this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that we're living through right now. We're living through a climax that has been built throughout the entire story, but even just specifically within the post-time skip. This has been built up since the post-time skip. This is a decade's worth of build-up right here for this arc and for this climax. And the fact that we're living through this, specifically from chapter 1042 until now, it's been nothing but heat, nothing but bangers every week. And I feel like it's been that way for a little while. The climaxes to a lot of these battles have been extremely awesome, but specifically, like, yo, 1042 was a banger. 1043 was a Hall of Fame chapter, and then 1044 is an all-timer. Like 1044 might, whenever the series ends, down the line. 1044 could be in a lot of our favorites list still to that day, right? That's how special that chapter was. And to know that what's going to come after that has the potential to continue that going, and to see all of the stuff that we saw last chapter and all the stuff we saw in 1042, a continuation to the Kaido insanity and to the Luffy goatness, with both of them just putting everything that they have on the line, the amount of respect that you see they have for each other. And now it's going to be full-blown, out in the field, 1v1, go with the coat versus Hyaku Juno Lesnar, who is going to be the reigning supreme king of land, sea, and air, with how deep their bags are, with how insane both of their fruits are, and both mythical. It's just crazy stuff. And yet, they're also going to be utilizing stuff like Future Sight and Conqueror's Coding all on top of that. So it's like what we're about to see is just the best use of combining one's fruit with hockey that we've seen up until this point in the series. And it's going to be so much fun, man, especially when Awakening gets involved and the things around the two of them start becoming one with the fruits in which they have. Because then it's just going to be, I don't know how the planet is going to live through this battle. I honestly don't. I feel like everyone is going to feel the rumblings, shout out to Eren Yeager, the rumblings that this fight is going to pour it out. I mean, when they split the skies, when they clash, when they hit each other, the world is gonna feel it. The Instant Messenger Sama is gonna feel it. Dragon, Shanks, individuals, the top tiers in the verse, they're gonna feel in their bones like, yo, some goats are fighting. What's going on? Where's that coming from? And then they're gonna be like, yo, who is that? Who's that man with the glowing yellow hair? And they're gonna see him laughing like, ah. They're like, yo, that's the goat with the goat. Who's he fighting up against? He's laying the smackdown on him? On the world's strongest creature? It can be. Oh, you better believe it. You better believe our goat with the coast laying the smackdown. So I'm so hyped, man, for all the possibilities between the two. They're going to be in the zone going in. I can't wait to see how Luffy utilizes all of these tune tactics, whether he legit starts bringing out actual hammers, so like how in the past, we've seen him use the Gomu Gomu no pistol and the Gomu Gomu no hammer, the Gomu Gomu no axe, whereas before it was like his own variation of hitting as hard as one of those things with his legs, with his hand, whatever the case may be. Now, because the hammer before was this, now imagine Luffy brings both of his hands together like this and he actually creates a hammer. Or when he goes to create the axe, he actually can create an axe with his legs now, like a rubber axe, but still an axe, because his imagination is now taken to the next level where he can showcase it visually. The jet pistol. Now, like, imagine he uses a Gomu Gomu no pistol in Gear 5th and it fires out fire. Rather than being a bullet, it's just like a red hawk, but it's coming at the speed of light. So it's like, he pulls out his fist, he's he's like, Gomu Gomu no, and then whatever the thing is going to be for Gear 5th, but Pistoru. And that one, instead of it just being like a punch, it's legit flames coming out of his hand and obliterating him like a beam. And it's like, yo, that's those possibilities are here with Gear 5th. And how is he going to use the environment? And I'm so excited. I love Gear 5th, man. And I just want to see more from it because the ability represents who Luffy is as an individual, represents the entire series. And it represents that incredible theme of not only just freedom and the freedom of self and the imagination, how that fuels that freedom. But man, it's also that one quote from Skypiea that anything man can imagine is a possibility in reality. And we're about to see that with these two legends going at it. I can't wait for it. 10:45. I don't even have to read it to know it's going to be a banger. I don't have to. You don't have to either. So we'll see what happens, man. But until this chapter drops, I will see y'all next time. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I don't know if I'll be able to read the comments for this one because I think spoilers will be out by the time this goes up. But if they are, please be careful in reading the comment section this week. I don't want anyone to get spoiled. But feel free to leave your own comments if you deem it to be necessary. I would love to read them whenever I get back on Friday after reading the chapter. So until then, I will see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. Luffy versus Kaido. Gear 5th. Go with the GOAT Luffy is about to go in against Hyaku Juno Final Form Kaido. I don't know if that's the form that we saw at the end of 1042 or something even further beyond that, but whatever it is, the planet is not going to be able to handle what's going to go down. We as the viewers are not going to be able to handle what's about to go down. And I'm so excited, yo. Can't wait for it. I will see y'all next time. One Piece greatness is incoming. We are in peak fiction mode, ladies and gentlemen. Santa hats and Jordan jerseys all day, every day.